We thank the Almighty God for giving us life once again. Now, even if we experienced these difficult times of COVID-19, well, I am Livingstone, a German of Apam Senior High. Now, in our previous lesson, we learned about the brief history of the Elves. Now, today we are going to talk about the history of medicine. We start with the word point of view, then we enter into the Ghanaian point of view. Now, immediately we hear of the statement history of medicine. It is trying to talk about our approach to how certain illnesses were treated. Certain illnesses were treated from ancient times to the present time. Now, the word medicine comes from a Latin word medicus, which means physician. Now, this medicine talking about is a science or art of treating, diagnosing, preventing certain illnesses and diseases. Now, the main objective was the person to live longer, healthier, and to withstand any illnesses and disease. Now, medicine, the medical tradition started in Babylon, China, Egypt. Now, when you talk about Egypt, the place, if you want to be specific in Egypt, the place where the art of medical diagnosis and prognosis started was called Sushruta. Sushruta. That is a place in Egypt where medical diagnosis and prognosis started. Now, the first place where a university was built to train people systematically who wanted to enter the medical profession was in Italy. Now, the person to be considered as the father of history is called Hippocrates. Now, the reason why we consider Hippocrates as the father of history was because of what he wrote in the 5th century BC, what called the Hippocratic Oath. Now, when we talk about the Hippocratic Oath is simply an oath that the ancient people swear whenever they want to enter into the medical profession. Now, talking about the word point of view, since today I wanted to talk particularly on the history of medicine in Ghana. Now, let's talk about that one. Now, if you want to talk about the history of medicine in Ghana, what you have to know is that now, before the introduction, before this orthodox or foreign medicine came into the system, the people founded their own way of attending to certain illnesses and diseases at that time. Now, when I talk about diseases, some of the prevalent diseases in the ancient times include gonorrhea, syphilis, guinea worm infection, talk about dysentery, talk about chickenpox, smallpox, and some small illnesses such as yawns, itches, and so on and so forth. Now, this sickness were believed to have been contracted through insanity, through insanitary environmental conditions, poor diet, when you take in food with poor diet, and also through sexual contact such as syphilis. Now, some of the medical practices in the pre-colonial times in Ghana, when this art of medical treatment was started, was now both men and women could practice as herbalists. Now, there were men who were herbalists, who were into using traditional herbs in curing diseases, and also we have women who were, some of the women, see, during that time, during a birth delivery, women, now in the ancient times, medicine was not the preserve for men. Women also entered into the medicine fraternity. Now, women, for instance, served as traditional delivery. They served as traditional birth attendant. That is, during delivery, when somebody is delivering a baby, they attend to the person and help the person in quick and safe delivery. Now, also, most of the herbalists were priests and priestesses of the traditional religion. Now, whilst the people were applying the medicine, they also used spiritual and psychological means. The psychological means, they also use that one in treating mental diseases, mental illness. Now, talking about that one, also in the pre-colonial times, the people used amulets and charms that was practiced in the north, particularly in the Muslim state. in what treating against disease. The people believe that whenever you wear these charms and amulets, it prevents you from contracting certain what illnesses and what and diseases. Now, talking about some of the medical practices, so some of them, one of the medical practices also was that now contagious diseases which were considered very dangerous, for example like chickenpox and other venereal diseases, were treated at the outskirts of a town or a village. Now, talking about that one, let's talk about how the ancient time people treated certain diseases. Now, according to Dr. Tedley, who was an assistant surgeon who came to Kumasi in 1817, now he testified to the efficacy of the traditional herbs. Now, he realized that for the treatment of herbal medicine, plant whose juice was used as snuff was used to treat what people having what severe headache. Now, he also realized that abortion of 3-month-old was done with a mixture or a concoction of oduma tree, which was powdered with pepper, and a plant called arinti-rinti, Now, he also realized that when pregnant wanted to correct their acidity, now a mixture or a bark of a honghong tree was brewed and mixed and was given to the pregnant woman to drink. Now, this same concoction was used to treat heartburn disease and other related diseases. Now, also, according to Dr. Bosman, he realized that people use lime, lemon, grains of powdered root, malaguata to treat certain illnesses and diseases. Now, he also said that the people used different kinds or different types of traditional herbs in treating disease and illness. He later recalled that, see, when the Dutch came, there were certain diseases that they contracted that they found it difficult to deal with in their own medical way. So these people turned into Ghanaian herbalists to treat disease that they couldn't treat. So this clearly tells us that our traditional way of treating illnesses was an efficient way, or our traditional herbs was used to cure certain dangerous diseases. And Dr. Bosman testified to that. Now, talking about Dr. Bosman, we also had a health analyst called Peter Demeris. Now, Peter Demeris also testified that now people treated headache with a kind of a pulp of a green leaf. Now, this pulp was affected to the part on the head. For example, if this part is hurting me, now after this pulp was taken out of a green leaf, now this pulp is rubbed against the head, the place which is hurting you. Are you getting me now? Also, you also realize that people diseases such as smallpox and chickenpox also considered to be contagious or dangerous, so it was treated at the outskirts of a town or a village. Now, in the northern part, particularly in the Muslim state, the people used amulets and charms, talisman, instead of the use of herbs, roots and barks of trees. They in the northern part, these people were using talisman and charms. Now, these people realized that now they said that whenever you used these charms and talisman, it prevented you from contracting certain illnesses and also being hated by the enemy bullet. In the ancient days, the people considered that some of the illnesses were contracted as a result of breaking certain customary laws, and these illnesses were brought by ancestors so they were induced by supernatural forces. So that is how people treated certain illnesses in the northern part. That is, to be specific, the Muslim state. Now, also the warriors at that time, they wear a cloth, and you realize that in that cloth it is stitched with an amulet. The main reason why was to deflect the enemy's bullet. That is, when you go to war, we have the person attacking the enemy. So when these people wear this clothes, which is stitched with the amulet, whenever the opponent strikes, it deflects their bullet. Are you getting me now? Also, see, people had a mysterious and fascinating way of treating illness. So, for example, when you want to treat illnesses like setting of a broken bone. Now, that was that was one of the most fascinating, I don't know what to call it, fascinating and mysterious way of treating illnesses. Now, when these people wanted to treat a person who had a broken bone, realize that they will get a hen or a cock. Whilst they are treating that person, they will break the leg of the hen, and they will, whilst they are treating that person, also they will bandage the affected or the broken part of the person. Now, it is believed that after 8 days, if the leg of the hen recovers, then surely the person with the broken bone will surely what recover. Wow, what a mysterious and fascinating way. Now, also, we were having what traditional midwives. Now, I earlier on said that the medicine was not a preserved for men. No, they were female people who entered into the medicinal fraternity. Yeah, these people served as midwives. That is, these midwives were considered to be elderly men in the society. Now, for the treatment, no, pregnant people were taken care. Now, when a person is pregnant, the person is prevented from going out. The person is supposed to go out unless that person is going to buy medicine or that person is going to examine herself. Now, during pregnancy, when the person is in a difficult state, now they will get herbs and they will rub it on the stomach of the pregnant woman for a quick and safe delivery. Now, after this delivery, the umbilical cord is cut and the placenta is being removed. Now, if this placenta is not removed and the woman retain it, it can lead to the death or the demise of the woman. Now, after this, the baby is not given to the woman to go home. Now, after all this thing, the woman needs to be taught on how to bath the baby, how to take care of the baby, how to smear some of these herbs on the baby, and before the baby will eventually move out. Now, these are some of the ways that our pre-colonial people founded or used in treating certain illnesses in the pre-colonial times. Now, we can also talk about the importance of this herbal medicine. Now, whilst I was making this discussion, I mentioned some of the importance of this traditional medicine. I mentioned that now this traditional medicine was easily accessible. You can get it. It was cheap. Now, also it had a less side effect as compared to this orthodox medicine. Now, the next time we meet, we will talk about the name Ghana. Why the name Ghana? Who postulated the name Ghana? And before the name Ghana, what was the name of of this present land that we called Ghana? We will try and elaborate on certain things. This is the end of the lesson. But remember that in these times of COVID-19, let's all try and observe the protocols. Social distancing, try and wash your hands with soap under running water, used alcohol-based sanitizers with this. And I'm optimistically sure that we shall overcome these trying times. Once again, my name is Livingstone of Apam Senior High. Thank you. Bye-bye.